All right, so we're going to dive into something pretty interesting today.
Okay.
It's all about phosphorus.
Oh, all right.
And, it's something we don't think about a lot.
Right.
But phosphorus, it's in our DNA, right?
Yeah.
It makes our bones strong. We need it.
Absolutely.
A good thing.
It is.
But, like most things in life, you can have too much of it.
Right.
And that's where the problem starts.
Exactly.
And that's what we're talking about today, this kind of problem of too much of a good thing. Scientists call it eutrophication.
Big word.
It is a big word, yeah. But basically what happens when too many nutrients, especially phosphorus, get into lakes and rivers and oceans. So we've got some research papers, some articles all about this whole phosphorus and eutrophication thing.
Oh, cool.
And hopefully we can break it down, make it easy to understand.
I think we can.
And our expert is here, of course, to help us kind of figure out what's going on. So maybe we could start with what makes eutrophication so interesting to study? What's the big deal?
Well, I think what's really fascinating about eutrophication is that it's a natural process.
Yeah.
But human activity has just completely thrown it out of whack, amplified it. Mm-hmm. So you have phosphorus naturally occurring in the environment, but the amount we're adding through our activities is it's unprecedented.
Okay, so it's already there.
Yeah.
We're just adding a lot more.
Exactly. Way more.
So how is that even happening? Where is all this extra phosphorus coming from?
Well, think about it. I mean, phosphorus is used in fertilizers, right?
Uh-huh.
Huge part of agriculture. Got to feed all these people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But then you've got, detergents. Some medicines even use phosphorus, for bone health and things like that.
So we're literally made of the stuff that's causing this problem.
Kind of ironic, isn't it?
It is a little bit ironic, yeah.
Yeah. So all this phosphorus, it ends up washing away, into our rivers, lakes, eventually the ocean.
Okay, so we've got all this extra phosphorus ending up in the water.
Right.
How does that actually cause this eutrophication thing?
So imagine a lake.
Okay.
Picture it. Nice and clear. Beautiful.
Got it.
Now, when you start dumping in tons of extra phosphorus, along with nitrogen, too, usually comes with it, from all this runoff, from farms, cities, sewage treatment plants, sometimes they're not doing the best job. All those nutrients, they're like a feast for algae.
So it's like we're super fertilizing the lake.
Basically, yeah. Algae go crazy.
And they bloom.
Bloom like you wouldn't believe.
And I've seen that, the green, slimy stuff.
Exactly. That's an algal bloom.
And that's a bad thing. I mean, it's not pretty, but...
It's way worse than just not being pretty. It's actually suffocating the lake.
Oh, really? Okay, how does that happen?
So when the algae eventually die, they decompose.
Right.
And that decomposition, it uses up all the oxygen in the water.
So there's nothing left for the fish?
Not much. It creates these areas called dead zones.
Dead zones?
Yeah. Basically nothing can survive there. Not enough oxygen.
Wow, it's like a ghost town underwater.
Exactly. A ghost town created by too much algae.
And that's all because of the extra phosphorus.
It's a major contributor, yeah. And there's more.
What, there's more?
Some types of algae, they can actually release toxins.
Well, that's not good.
No, it's not. These toxins can make the water unsafe to drink.
So it's not just the fish that are in trouble.
Right, it can affect people too.
And animals who drink from the lake.
Exactly. And even swimming can become dangerous. And the toxins, they can build up in fish.
So if you eat the fish...
You could get sick.
This is bad. But are people doing anything about it? Is there any hope?
There is. People are starting to realize how big of a problem this is.
Okay.
And there are solutions.
Like what? What can we do?
Well, a lot of it comes down to better management, stricter rules about how much fertilizer farmers can use.
That makes sense.
And improving wastewater treatment, making sure those plants are really filtering out the phosphorus.
Okay, so less phosphorus getting into the water in the first place.
Exactly. Prevention is key.
Have those kinds of things actually worked anywhere?
Yeah, actually. There's this place, the Chesapeake Bay.
I've heard of that.
It's in the U.S. It's been dealing with eutrophication for a long time. But they've been working really hard. The states around the bay, farmers, environmental groups.
Working together.
Yeah, and it's been making a difference. Water quality is improving. The dead zones are shrinking.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
So it's not hopeless.
Not at all.
What about technology? Can technology help?
Definitely. There's some really cool stuff being developed.
Like what?
Well, there's phosphorus recovery, for example.
Phosphorus recovery?
Yeah. Scientists are figuring out ways to extract phosphorus from waste,
waste, like sewage.
Yeah, sewage, agricultural runoff, and then they can reuse that phosphorus as fertilizer.
So instead of it polluting the water, we're actually using it.
Exactly. Closing the loop.
That's awesome. Anything else?
Oh, yeah. There's also research into buffer zones.
Buffer zones?
They're like natural filters.
Okay.
So, planting vegetation along rivers and streams or restoring wetlands.
Right.
Those plants can actually help trap phosphorus before it gets into the water.
That's pretty clever. So it seems like there's a lot of different things we can do.
Right. Policies, technology, and, each of us can do our part too.
What do you mean? Like, what can individuals do?
Simple things, really. Picking up after your pets. You wouldn't believe how much phosphorus is in dog poop.
Really?
Yeah, and it washes right into the water system. And using phosphate-free detergents.
Those exist.
Yeah, you can find them. And being careful with fertilizers in your garden, don't overuse them.
Okay, so even small things can make a difference.
Absolutely. It all adds up.
So we've learned a lot today about phosphorus. How it's essential for life, but how too much of it can cause this eutrophication problem.
Right.
It's pretty serious, harming water quality and entire ecosystems.
But the good news is we're not powerless.
That's right.
We understand what causes eutrophication, and we've got solutions. Smart policies, new technologies, and individual actions.
Working together.
Exactly. We can have cleaner, healthier waters for everyone.
I like that. And, on that note, I'll leave our listeners with something to think about. What can you do to reduce your phosphorus footprint?
Good question.
Maybe it's switching detergents. Maybe it's something bigger, like getting involved in your community to push for better wastewater treatment. Whatever it is, every little bit helps. And be sure to check out the show notes for more information and resources.
Good idea.
You can learn more and figure out how to get involved. So, that's it for our deep dive into phosphorus and eutrophication. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time.
See you then.